Collision detection. At this point we got the ball that is controlled by the player, the hole to reach and the obstacle blocking the way. There is a problem though. Our game doesn't have any collision detection yet, so nothing happens when the ball hits the blocks. It just goes through. Let's fix it. The good news is that the framework will take care of the calculation, the collision detection. We only have to specify the colliding objects in the update function. So right now we're gonna move into the game state, and we are gonna go into the, let me see, it was the update function. Okay, so we are already here, and let me see, we only have to specify the colliding object and the update function. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna add this piece of code into the update, and okay, so we are gonna go after the second if statement, and we are gonna have the keyword this that, and it's gonna be physics that arcade collide. So it's gonna be arcade that collide, and we're gonna open parentheses. Inside of the parentheses we're gonna have this that ball. We're gonna separate it with a comma, and now we're gonna have this that border group. So we're gonna have the border, okay, border group, and again camel notation there. So it's gonna be this that wall collision, comma, and we're gonna have null, and finally the keyword is. Okay, so we have that so far. Okay, so there's that physics that arcade that collide, and we're gonna have pretty much this. Well, it's not gonna be the same, but let me see, we're gonna put a semicolon just at the end of this parentheses, and we're gonna do something similar. This that physics that arcade that what was it, that arcade that collide. Okay, and in this case we're gonna have the this that ball. So this is the same, this that ball, comma, we are gonna have the this that level. So it's gonna be this that levels that, and we're gonna open brackets, and we're gonna pass it this that level -1. Okay, -1, no -1. So separate it with a comma. Let me see, we have the this that levels that, oops, we don't have to put a point here. So then we're gonna have the this that wall collision, comma, and we're gonna put the null, and finally the keyword is. Okay, so we have that so far. Okay, this will tell the framework to execute the wall collision function when the ball hits any of the walls. We can use the wall collision function to add any functionality we want, like playing the bounce sound and implementing the vibration API. So okay, again, this is the whole code if you wanna check it out in the GitHub repository. We are still inside of the game state. Let me see, we already did the preloader, we did the main menu, the game, and the boot. So that's pretty much it. And again, okay, so nothing is happening yet in our game, but if you go into the trial, they already have it here. It's already functioning. They already have sounds and everything, and we haven't added sounds to our example yet, so let's keep doing it. That adding the sound. Among the preloaded assets there was an audio track in various formats for browser compatibility, which we can use now. It has to be defined in the create function first. So we're gonna go into the create function, we're gonna go into the game, and we're gonna go into the create function, and let's go after we have the data keys and then the windows that add event listener. So we are gonna add the this that bounce. So Yeah, we can add it at the end, so it's gonna be this that bounce sound. So it's gonna be bounce sound like that. Okay, bounce sound camel notation, and we are gonna set it to this that game that add audio, and we are gonna pass in the stream audio. Okay, it's gonna be audio dash bounce, so it's gonna be like that, semicolon at the end. We're gonna add that, and if we go into the our audio, we have the audio bounce here. Let me see. If the status of the audio is true, so the sounds in the game are enabled, we can play in the wall collision function. Okay, so we're gonna go into the wall collision function. Let me see if this is if the status of the audio is true, so the sounds in the game are enabled, we can play in the wall collision function. Okay, so again, we are in the game state, we are gonna go into the wall collision function, and inside of the curly braces we are gonna type in this if statement. So we're gonna have the if, so we're gonna have a condition and then the block of code. Okay, so if this that, okay, audio status, okay, if this that audio status, and it has to be camel notation like that. If this that audio status, then this that bounce is gonna be bounce sound that, and we're gonna call in the play method, semicolon at the end. Okay, so that's all. Loading and playing the sounds is easy with phaser, so pretty much that we have the phaser framework here. Now implementing the vibration API. When collision detection works as expected, let's add some special effects with the help from the vibration API. Okay, the best way to use it in our case is to vibrate the phone every time the ball hit the walls inside of the wall collision functions. Okay, so inside of the wall collision function we are gonna add this let me see, we are gonna add this function. So we're gonna have the if statement and a curly brace here, so we're gonna have if, okay, so if vibrate, okay, if vibrate and window, so and window that navigator, so navigator if, okay, if vibrate and window that navigator, then we are gonna have in window that navigator, okay, this one, and we're gonna have vibrate and we're gonna pass in 100 like that, semicolon at the end. Okay, if the vibrate method is supported by the browser and available in the window.navigator object, vibrate the phone for 100 milliseconds, that's it. And now adding the elapsed time, so to improve replayability and give players the option to compete with each other, so we will store the elapsed time. Players can then try to improve on their best game completion time. To implement this, we can have to create a variable for storing the actual number of seconds elapsed from the start of the game and show it for the player in the game. Let's define the variables in the create function first. So we're gonna go again into the create function, and okay, so we're gonna go right here, and let me see, let's go, yeah, we can go at the end, and we're gonna have this that timer, and we're gonna initialize it to 0, semicolon at the end, and then we're gonna have this that total timer, and again we're gonna initialize it to 0 as well. Okay, so we can save that, Then right after that we can initialize the necessary text objects to display the information to the user. So okay, so we are gonna have, let me see, then right after that we can initialize the necessary text objects to display the information to the user. So we are still inside of the create function. We're gonna go right here after that, and we're gonna have the this that, okay, timer text, okay, and we are gonna set it to this that game, that add that text, like that. Okay, so we are gonna pass in 15 comma 15 comma, we're gonna open backticks, and we're gonna have in time colon $, we're gonna open curly braces, oops, $, has $. Okay, we're gonna open curly braces, we're gonna have this that timer. Okay, so we put a comma here, then we're gonna have this that font big, like that. We're gonna put a comma here, and yeah, we're gonna end this statement with a semicolon. And okay, this is for the timer. Now we're gonna have one for the this that total. So we're gonna have this that total, this that total time text, like that, and we are gonna set it to the text. Okay, I mean to the this that game that add that text, and we are gonna pass in the 120, we're gonna pass in 30, we're gonna pass in again backticks, and it's gonna be the total, this time the total time. And okay, so we're gonna open $, curly braces, and we're gonna have this that total, like this. Okay, total timer, and we're gonna separate it with a comma, and finally we're gonna use the this that font big. Okay, so comma at the end, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are defining the top and left positions of the text, the content that will be shown on the styling applied to the text. We have this printed out on the screen, but it would be good to update the values every second. So to do that, we are gonna have to pretty much go in below here, and this curly brace belongs to the create function. Okay, so before the curly brace, we're gonna have the this that, and it's gonna be time that events, like that, and it's gonna be loop, well, that I mean, it's gonna be, we're gonna have the phaser, that timer, that second, comma, and it's gonna be this that update counter. Okay, so we have this that update counter, we're gonna put a comma here, and we are gonna have the keyword this after that, so semicolon at the end of this parentheses, and we're gonna save it.